China-Taiwan tensions could grip 2024 elections as Musk, Buffett, and Dalio sounds alarm. This is a CNBC story. Influential business leaders such as Elon Musk, Buffett, and Dalio raising concerns about the escalating tensions between U.S. and China over Taiwan with implications for 2024 election. Musk emphasizes the inevitability of the situation and its adverse impact on global companies, while Buffett has divested from Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing companies due to geopolitical concerns. Dalio warns of the risk of a war-like scenario between the two superpowers. The issue of Taiwan is becoming a focal point in the political landscape, with Republican contenders like Ron DeSantis, Glenn Youngkin, and John Bolton highlighting the need to deter a potential Chinese invasion of the island. Lawmakers are introducing legislation to counter China's growing influence. The 2024 election cycle is expected to bring increased anti-Chinese rhetoric and a focus on addressing China's actions. Tom.
Well, what's really interesting is you've been listening to this podcast long enough. You knew that a year ago we called this. We said that what was going on in Taiwan was about global market share of chips and to influence chips and to put spyware on chips. That's what this is about. This is not about we want to right the wrong because we sent Chiang Kai-shek to the Isle of Formosa, later named Taiwan, and we want to get our property back. That is the political spin, and that's part of the spin that comes out of the People's Republic of China government. If you take a look at this chart, we showed this before and it hasn't changed. This is the market share of advanced semiconductor manufacturing in the world. The world. Look at Taiwan and look at South Korea, Samsung. That is almost 80% of the world. And we've seen announcements coming up because people are waking up to this and realize it's not about China taking back Taiwan because it's their beloved island and homeland. They want the chips. And so when China, you saw that we covered it on the podcast about 3 weeks ago, right? Apple made an announcement they were making a deal with India to manufacture iPhones in India. Now Apple's announcing they want to make a deal with Broadcom to get chips. You also see that now Buffett divested himself of TSMC. There it is right there. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Buffett was an investor in the largest chip maker in the world. He has pulled back. Why? It's risk. It's full risk. That's what's going on here. And in the election year, this is a business story. This is a foreign policy story. And this is an inflation story because what's about to happen. And you see challenges that U.S. companies will have getting permits to build what's called a fab. It's a chip fab. When you hear that in the local news, that's a factory. So if you hear a chip fab's coming to town, that's good. That's usually a lot of jobs making chips here in the United States. But that's what's going on in Taiwan. Everybody has woken up to something that we were saying here on the podcast a year ago. And now you even see Apple, who's cozy with China, saying, yeah, I need manufacturing in India. I need chips made elsewhere because they're all starting to sweat.
Mm-hmm. I'll just add to this, part of the listeners or everyone that shout out to the Valuetainers that listen to what we talk about here. If there's one thing I've learned since being a part of the PPD podcast for 3 years is just can't understate the situation that's going on with China. Okay, so yesterday you did a poll. Major concerns. What should campaigns be about? You put Ukraine. You put Epstein. I think that was the whole thing. Immigration, healthcare. Everyone can give their top five. Here's what I will tell you, and I'll speak in very plain language. Whatever candidate puts China relations in a top five scenario, that is exactly where I'm going to be gravitating my vote toward, because it does not get spoken about. I know Trump did China and everything that happened with that, but it's such an important situation that's going on in international relations with China, and it can't be understated.
But also international national relations as well, but also just in the amount of massive influence that China has over our culture, over our entertainment industry, over our business sector, all of that other stuff, and
making our medicine,
all of these
giving
things.
us COVID.
Yeah, the fentanyl that's coming into this country from China, like all of that stuff, and even thinking about TikTok, right? And I'm not necessarily in the ban TikTok thing, but you have to think about what are these images that are being put through this platform and that are being disseminated to the youth of our country. Okay, divisive stuff. You got people dying in TikTok challenges, all of this other stuff. This is literally cultural and psychological warfare to the level to which we've never seen before, and nobody wants to talk about this stuff. Least of all, a lot of these politicians who are in some way owned by China. I do believe personally, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, I believe that Biden is in some way compromised by China. Something on that laptop, like something that is going on, they've got something on this guy, okay? And if we don't have politicians that are willing to stand up, people that want to lead this country, people that want to lead America into the revival that this country needs, if they're not going to stand up to China, if they're not going to stand up and start talking about this, I don't want to hear anything they have to say. So I'm with you on that.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.